Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here. And today I have a very important video, almost, I want to say like the most important video when it comes to the mid to late game. Recently, I've been doing a bunch of coaching, like on stream, a ton of coaching. Free coaching, sub coaching, a lot of coaching. I've noticed this ridiculously disturbing common trend that is losing people games over and over and over again. Games that should be free wins. Today we're going to be talking about mid to late game map control and how to do it. The primary theme here is going to be cutting waves. Now, if you are not 7k MMR, you are below that number, you do not cut waves well at all. I have not seen any players in these brackets consistently doing it. They will do it from time to time, but consistently over and over and over again, controlling the map, controlling the waves. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at OB Neon, the pro team, then we're going to compare it to a 3k pub and see why 3k players completely throw away their leads every single game. So much so to the point where 3k players have less map control when they're winning because of how bad they're playing. By the way guys, if you want to become absolutely broken, well, what you need to do is sign up to the GameLeap website down below right now. The reason why you should do that is because every single day we post a new video there. Content that you simply just will never get on YouTube, we post every single day to the website. It's really top tier stuff. I'm very proud of what I make over there. We also have other creators, many of my great friends who are top tier Dota players, creating guides about different heroes, different roles, different items, skill builds, talent builds, everything you need to know to get to the next rank. So if you feel a little bit lost, you're a little bit stuck, click the link down below. I'll see you guys there. And now let's get into the video. Okay, so starting off, we're going to be going through the OB Neon clip. We're going to be watching in specific a Queen of Pain, a hero with obviously very solid wave shove. Now, a fight breaks out, okay, they just got Aegis, and they make the very conscious and wise decision to disengage, right? Instead of committing into the fight, they completely disengage. Quap goes where? This is the first question. Where should Quap go? Right, guys, where should Quap go? Bottom. She needs to book it to bottom. Tidehunter and Morphling are going to shove top, so you can see Tide's going to look to shove the top wave. It's kind of already getting shoved in, so it's a little bit dangerous. The enemy team is around mid, so Quap needs to go bottom. On top of that, you can tell it's a professional match of Dota when Morphling also makes the read that the enemy team is going top and proceeds to shove in mid. All of a sudden, because of these quick rotations and fast decision making, OB Neon has a very clear path. Enemy team is top. Aegis, they're going to shove in mid with Morphling Mantas, cut bottom with Quap, use Tide to stall up the top lane, and eventually control the bottom side of the map. But notice how when they have Aegis, they're not 5-manning, okay? This is the big theme. When I transfer over to the 3 and 4k MMR game, I'm going to be showing you guys, pay attention to what they do with the Aegis early on, okay? How clumped they are. Look at the difference here. Quap is cutting in bottom, right? She's a very survivable hero at this point of the game. The Kai Sanj, the Invis Rune, and Orchid can be used for defensive capabilities. She's farming it up, cutting bottom wave. What is Morphling doing? Cutting mid wave. Honestly, it's really this simple, guys. When you get ahead, you have to control mid. Mid is where the game is basically based around, right? Because it's the middle of the map. It makes sense. You can go anywhere from mid. If you don't cut mid and you run down a side lane, you are giving up the majority of your map control for a couple of reasons. You will not have a wave to ever siege mid. You're losing out on a ton of lane creep farm, which is a big deal. The enemy is going to be shoving mid, so they're going to get the farm. And because you're not mid and you're probably running down bottom, you're also not threatening the top side of the map, which being mid does. And really, this is the main thing I want you guys to see. Okay, I don't want to make it more complex than this. I don't want to make this idea confusing. I want to make this video as simple as possible so you guys can implement this as soon as possible. Once again, they have control of the bottom side of the map here. It's 27 minutes in. They're ahead. They feel strong. They want to control the map. You can't run up a high ground blind, so they don't want to run up top line. What they do instead is they send Tide bottom. They cut mid with Morphling Mantis, and then Quap makes the dangerous, but she makes the read. She makes the dangerous read to go top and push in top. On top of that, it's very important to note that this is a Quap with Blink, and it's a Quap with Boots of Travel, and so her splitting the map makes a lot more sense. But look at the map. They have closed them in, right? They are closing them in. They can force them back to the bottom tier 3. They can eventually open up Roshan if someone responds to this tier 3. They can then wrap into here, get down a ward, because they've cut both of the waves. And I cannot stress this enough. It's for farming and for control. All right, and we're gonna finish this off. This is probably, this clip is incredible, guys. So Makoto watches this fight break out, and he quickly decides that it's a bad fight, okay? So the Mars buys back on the enemy team, and they committed Pango Roll to get that kill. They also committed Finger. So they definitely have used quite a few of their big spells. He ends up blinking in, going for a bit of a dagger onto the Viper. But yeah, as I said, he quickly determined, in his head at least, that it's a bad fight. So what does he do? No hesitation, goes mid. Doesn't linger around the fight, doesn't hit the small camp, he cuts mid. Pretty funny, right? Like, pretty funny how little hesitation. Pro players, they default to this. They default to creep waves. Most people default to team fights and where their heroes are, where their teammates are. Pro players default to the nearest wave, or at least the safest nearest wave, right? And so on top of that, fight continues. Ravage committed. He decides, okay, still, this is a bad fight. What does he do? He's already cut mid. His teammates are probably about to die, or, you know, Morphling might die. And so what does he do? He cuts top. Now the enemy team has no way of pushing. It's also just a lot of gold. Like, I know I'm repeating my same points and I'm about to move into the 3K, 4K replay, but please get what I'm saying. He's becoming very, very farmed as a result of this. And even though the enemy team gets a Morphling pickoff, they can't do anything with it. They can't do anything with it. Over and over and over again, the enemy team is getting kills, but can never transition these kills into anything because of the fact that they're not pushing waves. Alright, and here we are in the 3 and 4K clip. And lucky me, it literally took me the first game and the first Aegis I looked at to find the perfect example. And it's not surprising because this happens literally every single time. If you can fix this mistake that happens every single time your team gets ahead or has any sort of decent advantage, whether or not it's Aegis or a pickoff or anything, you're gonna win your games. But okay, let's take a look. So they get Roshan, okay? They got some pickoffs and they turn it into Roshan. That's actually extremely great. So shout out to these guys. And if you want to know the ranks, this is about a Crusader game, High Crusader. Now let's keep going, okay? So they take the Aegis. Let's generally follow the Quap. But honestly, if we follow the Quap, we follow everyone, which is not really that surprising. She actually, funny enough, hits this large camp, which is interesting. She then proceeds to blink top, get her Lincolns, so, you know, she wanted to obviously farm her Lincolns. But what happens next is where the game gets bad. It gets bad. In Dota, almost every single time, when your team has an advantage, what the enemy team will do, most of the time, until you get to higher and higher ranks, is they will sit mid and wait. They will sit mid and wait because they know that you guys will probably run into them. It's actually instinctual and a habit for most players to just wait mid or group up mid because they want to fight. They know you're going to come. And so people, without even thinking about it, will group up mid and just wait for a fight, whether or not they know it. And of course, the enemy team will give them their wishes. They'll just run straight into them. So imagine if you're the one player in the 10-person lobby who just breaks the pattern, gets much better item timings, forces in lanes, baits rotations, and avoids stupid fights. And instead of taking these stupid fights, hits ridiculous net worth timings. Well, let's take a look at this to really see what I'm saying. So as the fight breaks out, they kill off the Mirana, okay? In typical pub fashion, someone ends up the Witch Doctor ends up dying in return. Quap goes in YOLO. This is obviously a horrible fight. Their team has no vision on any of the good targets, and so they have to jump this level 22 BKB 3k HP Meteor Hammer OD. Obviously a not great target in this scenario, and yet that's exactly who they go on. They have to go on this worthless OD. They expend their Quap BKB, Quap Orchid, onto a bad OD. Not surprisingly, they get completely kited out, their attention completely shifts, and this is what happens when you dive towers and you have no clear target, right? You have no clear target. Of course you have no clear target. You're all going on different people. You're just running into an open area. You'd have to be secret to pick the same target. You'd have to be talking in a Discord call. It doesn't work in pubs. And that is why you need to split the map and just show up late. Look at this Quap's impact in this fight, guys. Look at the Quap's impact in this fight. Because I know people tell me, oh, but Speed, if I don't show up to the fight, then my team's gonna die. Guys, most of the time, especially if you're the initiator, you're the one killing your team. You're the one baiting them. Would they make the play anyway sometimes? Of course, it's Dota. There's a million different scenarios, but a huge portion of the time, you're just baiting them. Look at this Quap in this fight, okay? Right, we're gonna watch the Quap. She goes in, she blinks on this OD. Okay, worthless target, so shit targeting already, right? And the reason why this guy might be Crusader, part of the reason. Poor target. Then he BKBs, full HP with the Lincolns, BKBs, okay? I don't know why he has the Lincolns in the first place. This is a worthless Lincolns game. But he goes in, chooses a horrible target, wastes BKB, wastes Orchid, baits his team to dive the worst target and the second worst target, right? Unless they could burst Jug, then it's not that bad, right? Or OD, but, you know, Jug's lower HP. And then he forces this shitty fight. And this is why when people tell me there's no farm on the map, or my team is always diving, and I don't know when to fight and when to farm, it's like, guys, just slow down the pace of the game. Just slow down the pace of the game. When you get ahead, cut the waves. Quap should be killing this, 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 and then the next wave that comes in as it's 28-49. You get the gist, right? You get the gist. And this is, like, guys, if you can actually take into consideration what I'm saying and not come up with some stupid-ass excuse, like I know there's going to be a ton of in the comments, you're going to gain rank. It's going to help you. This is a very high MMR concept that I'm sharing with you guys today. And it's just all about getting in 2 lanes when you're ahead. 3 is great. If you can do 3, do 3. Honestly, in low MMR pubs, you probably can do 3. If you buy bots, like if you're playing Quap here, no joke, shove top, clear your camps, shove top again, TB bottom, shove bottom. You know how much farm and gold and XP you're gonna have? Crazy. And that's gonna be all for today's video. As I said, I want to keep it short. I really just want to get this idea out here. Please execute this in your pubs, guys. I beg of you. And if you do and you have a good game because of it, what I want you guys to do is let me know either on my stream, which will be linked in the description of this video, or you can tell me on Discord. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace. And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.